a couple months after they took the bones from Joe, I emailed, well, Chantel gave me an email address that she used to be able to contact Leah. That's the girl of the family. And so, I emailed that. I was like, hey, I don't remember what I said, but I was asking for Dan's email because there was pictures and stuff. And Pete emailed me back about, I don't remember what he said, but something about that he couldn't disclose that kind of information because Joe was seeking legal action towards the Droz, or towards them, and all this blah 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 blah.
Was that true?
No, Joe would never seek legal action. Like he would have his way not to sue him. I would have sued him right off. But that's me. Joe's a lot nicer than I am. And yeah, and I was just like, well, okay. Thought we were friends, but I guess not. We before I did that, they came. Me and my brother took our Canadian cousins to. They came down to visit us, so we took them to the Fort Worth Museum. And this was after they took the Allosaur. This was like right after. Like they took the Allosaur and then they came to the Fort Worth Museum. So I bet the bones were in the parking lot. I just didn't know. So we. They were in the museum, so.
You didn't know they'd taken the bones from Joe at that point.
No, I knew. I knew they had them, and I knew I did. I wasn't gonna confront them about it because I still liked them. They were nice people. They were, I consider them real good friends, and so anyway, we met him in the museum. We're like, well, there's Droz is right over there. Let's go say hi. So everybody said hi, and everybody's hugging each other and stuff. And then it kind of just was like. They didn't say anything. You're just sitting there. I was like, so, okay, I'm gonna go over here now. It was really silent, and I thought that was kind of strange. Now that I look back at it, I don't think it was that kind of strange. But I asked Peter how the Allosaur was doing. He said it was doing good. I was like, okay. And can't stand in front of that kind of silence for too often. So we said goodbye, and then they went off. The other way, and that's not the last I saw of them. And then I learned more about the story, and I learned what actually took place and all that stuff, and I was like, well, that sucks. That really sucks.
Because you guys were all looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, that would have been awesome. Yeah. It's just like, you got the cream of the, one of the best dinosaurs you could ever hope to work on, and Joe's never even worked on the one this nice. And you just getting into it, just getting into that field, getting to work on something like that, it's like buying a Ferrari for your first car. Nice.
Now, and you never wanted credit for finding this job.
I was embarrassed.
Sure.
Why is everyone looking at me?
Do you feel, how do you feel now, though, that the Drozes have been made like Indiana Jones superstars and given all the credit, and you aren't even acknowledged at all?
I don't mind. I mind that.
You mind more for Joe, probably. Right?
Well, I mind that they ruined people's lives, because we were at Carl's site, and me and Chantel, we were driving by there, to go eat, go into town, and then we saw the Drozes were there. Like, hey, the Drozes are there. No, I still thought that you could talk to them. Because I thought they were, I still consider them as friends, but they were just having a disagreement with one of my other friends. And I thought they were wrong right off the bat. Because, I know Joe. And the guy that, is not even married but raises 10 kids, sells his, his Corvettes to feed them and stuff. That guy's not gonna stab you in the back. He's the nicest man in the world, and so of course I'm gonna believe Joe because, well, he's Joe. You trust him with anything, and yeah. So anyway, when we were there, and me and Chantel wanted to go talk to Dan and see if we could get the picture because they were good pictures, and there's a lot of them. There's a couple hundred of them, and Dan said he would give it to us a long time ago. He said he would make CDs and stuff. And so me and Chantel went over there around 9 o'clock. We were like, well, would it be a good idea, And so we went up to Joe because we figured we shouldn't go over there without talking to Joe. So when we talked to Joe, and Joe was like, well, yeah, y'all, if you think you should. But, he told us they'll either welcome you with open arms or they'll call the cops on you. So, we were like, I hope they welcome us with open arms. I don't want to get arrested. So we went over there, and you got butterflies in your stomach because, you don't know what's going to happen. Because, last time you saw these people, you were hugging them, hugging them goodbye. And we went up to the door. We knocked on the door, and like, who is it? So we yelled their names out. And then, there's all scuttling around inside. Just waiting there at the door, just thinking, hope they weren't asleep or something. So we went over there, we were there, and Mark came to the door and opened up the door, and Mark was just looking at me like, who are you here, type of thing. And, I was like, hey, Mark, what's up? I took it, because I like Mark, I liked all of them. And I put my hand out there to shake it. He's like, y'all shouldn't be here. I was like, what do you say to that? It's like going over your best friend's house and then saying, I hate you, type of thing. It's like, and you can tell he means it, but he didn't say he hates me. But he said, y'all shouldn't be here. Why are you here? Y'all, we gotta get off the property, type of thing. And I was just like, well, we were over at Carl Ball's side. I figured, come by and say hi, see what's up. And he's like, y'all shouldn't be here. You need to leave right now. And I was like, well, this is interesting. And then Linda, I think, the mother, she came over the door and was like, I think we're not accepting visitors this time. Even if we were accepting visitors, we wouldn't accept you all, type of thing. And we're like, well, what did we do, How did we get so evil all of a sudden? And so me and Chantel were like, okay. So I was like, see y'all later. Walked back to the car, and drove home, or drove back to the other dig site, and you're just thinking, how did they get that far, How did they go from hugging you, then to, like, not even looking at you? Well, like, looking at you with a straight face, they were all like, it's like I just killed their mother and got away with it, and they knew it, type of thing, kind of look that they were staring at you with. And it blew me away. I was like, well, okay, it settles it for me. Even if what they say was true, all the stuff they say, it's your obligation as a Christian to if you think they've been led astray, it's your obligation to try to lead them back. Christians are never, supposed to, a bum asking for food. Never, get out of here, We don't like the likes of you. And you're supposed to, feed him. If he's naked, you put clothes on his back. You're not supposed to. It was sad.
But you hadn't done anything anyway.
I didn't do anything to them. Just, you'd lay awake at night. Well, not very often, but you just think, what did I do to make them? And, well, I didn't do anything. I just figured, well, they don't want to have anything to do with me. I went over there to see, talk to them about it. But, they don't want to talk, so you can't force it on them. So I guess they just didn't want to be around, or didn't want us to be around, so I figured, well, if they want to make things right, they can come to me because I already went to them. So I kind of just left it right there. I was like, well, I'm done. It's not worth your time anymore. It didn't hurt me financially. It didn't hurt me emotionally very much. It didn't. It's just. I grew up without that, not very many friends. But when you make some that you actually think are good, solid people, and then you find out that they're not so solid, then it freaks you out a little bit. Makes you think about everybody else. But it hurt Joe a lot more than me. It hurt Joe put his money in it, his effort. He was actually thinking about giving or helping little Peter to. He was thinking about giving little Peter his museum, help train him in that way and giving him his museum. And Joe doesn't do that to everybody, but he put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this, and then to find out, it's kind of like it's just like stabbing you in the back all the time. It's like going to your church and them not letting you in anymore because you're different or something.
But now you know it was about something totally different.
Well, I think it was about money personally. They say money's the root of all evil. I don't think so. I just think people are the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Money's just something that helps them get there.